What do you think? Good. Hey, good morning everybody. It is July 12th. It's a Thursday. I'm headed into work for the day. I don't have much new to report. So last night I went over by Luke's and we got some editing done and met up with his sister to talk about her, it was basically a wedding consultation. His sister's getting married in November. And that's about it. So some of the things that I got working in progress, I'm trying to get my car out of storage. I have an old Cutlass. It's a 1983 Cutlass that has a big block Oldsmobile 455 engine and gets about 8 miles to the gallon. So I am working on trying to get that out so I can enjoy it a little bit over the summer here. You know, I just want to basically take it to and from like local car shows and stuff like that. So no like long drives or anything like that. The thing costs me probably $30, $40 just to drive to work and back. So it wouldn't be like anything like that. So I got this little old lady that I store it with. I'm using like part of her garage. So I rent part of her garage. She's all the way up in like basically like Chicago, like near like the city limit. And so it's going to be a process. I just got to see if my buddy Luke can help me out or somebody else and get it from the damn place. I hope I can. It'd be nice. There's a big monthly car meet or car show or whatever on Saturday that it would be nice to be able to make it to, but I don't even know if I'll be able to get this damn thing running or what, so I have no clue. So that's about it. I'm trying to think what else is happening. Today, it's been a busy week at work. I've kind of put away all my distractions and stuff, and I've been just keeping my head down, trying to get, you know, progress done on various projects and stuff like that. And it's been slow going, but you know, it's just, it is what it is. I'm trying to be productive and get some shit done versus, you know, fuck around and all that, which I normally do. And so that's just some stuff that's going on. I'm gonna be, let me think. So yesterday I finished the ReIP project. Yesterday I also finished the connection stuff for a different piece of the ReIP project, or actually Nutanix first and then the ReIP. I got a bunch of connections that I need to run, so I might do those today because those are a little, you know, backbreaking or whatever. So I'm thinking it'd be a good time to do that today, and that way tomorrow I'm not fucking tired out and shit. So yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for more. Okay, we're just doing a test here, see how this works. Let's try it. Alright, this is with the quick capture feature enabled, so as soon as you turn on the camera it starts recording, and I even have it set up to turn off the display on the side of the camera and stuff. So see how this works. Alright, we're going to test out something new. We're going to shut the lights down here and see if it's in the dark here. Let's try this out. Okay, pitch black. Don't see anything here. Let's see. Alright guys, what is happening? I'm just getting out of work for the day. It is still Thursday. It's a hot one. Car says it's 90 degrees outside. So what I've been working on and struggling with this week is a concept that is rather new to me. So how do I explain this? I guess the idea is it possible to date or marry or be with somebody, and after breaking up or being away from that person, is it possible to move on without carrying over some of the residual traits of the person that you were with? So maybe personality traits, behaviors, and all that type of stuff. So anyone that's been in a long-term relationship, or even any relationship, I guess, you probably realize that you kind of adapt and take on pieces and parts of the person that you're with. So that could be a myriad of things. Everything from the sayings and slogans and terms that you guys use in conversation to certain mannerisms, jokes, inside jokes, to, various different physical things, like the way you do things, or, wash the dishes a certain way, or whatever. So my question to you is, if we can take on these very, very visible changes or traits or whatever, so like I said, the speech or the words, the verbiage, various things that we do, is it possible to kind of integrate or associate other aspects that maybe aren't quite so obvious that we are taking on from the other person? So it could be good or bad. How do we talk about this? I mean, this is a very interesting topic because you can't quite measure it. You can't quite look at it without a bias. It feels like if you're trying to quantify it or measure it, it's going to be objectively. So where am I going with this? So in a nutshell, basically, like in my case, so I truly believe that I was with a narcissist. Now, a narcissist, they have all kinds of different crazy traits and stuff, but one of them is projection. So they project everything onto you. So you're the problem, you're at fault, this and that, they're okay. Various different things, but they project everything. So my question is, alright, so if you're dating a narcissist, or you think that they're a narcissist, how do you know that you yourself are not a narcissist? So it's kind of like a check and balance is where I'm going with this. So like, the more and more I think about it, I'm like, alright, well, remove her out of the equation. Am I a narcissist? Am I projecting onto her and saying that, by saying she's a narcissist, it's actually me that's the problem? Let's examine that. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet. So I think I'm getting at the fundamental understanding of a few different concepts. I don't even know how to talk about this. Like I'm like running out of breath, and I'm like very have quite a bit of anxiety. So first off, okay, so say you're spending time with somebody, a lot of time, a little bit of time, whatever, but you're spending time with them, you're rubbing off on each other, so to speak. So once you're separated from that person, are you carrying over good and bad properties of that person, or with that person, or from that person? So, like, okay, let's say, she is or was a narcissist or whatever. Now going forward, am I carrying over some of her narcissistic behavior because it's a little bit of patterning, it's a little bit of what I've been used to, it's what I know, what's comfortable to me, without cognitively or I don't want to carry over stuff like that. So what is happening here? This is what I'm struggling with, kind of mentally and stuff in my head. All right, so there's this well-known notion that certain types of people their type, or what they go after, is like the bad boys or the bad girls. Now, you know, I've been kind of studying and thinking and mulling around a bunch of ideas, like, why is that? Why do people, you know, like the bad boys and bad girls when they are treated like shit? They're walked all over, yet they continually attract and almost seek out these types of people. So I kind of, you know, chalked it up originally just to like, okay, well, that's just law of attraction stuff. Alright, so it's been quite the delay. Let me try to remember my train of thought here. Okay, so going back, I think what I was talking about was taking on the properties of the people that you're with in terms of personality traits, good, bad, and all that stuff. So it's literally been like 2 hours since I recorded the last clip, so like, bear with me, guys. So where I'm going with this is like, I'm worried that going forward, you know, I'm going to exhibit many of the traits that I just had to deal with, and that brings up the fundamental question of, did I have those traits to begin with, or are those inherited traits and now it's like a new thing? Or I don't know any other way to explain it or to put it. So that's kind of my concern as of late, and all that stuff. So, oh, look at all the cows. They just got their food delivered. Wow, they're excited. They were all looking at that. So, I was talking about like people going after the good boys, or the bad boys or the bad girls and stuff, and kind of getting stuck in that pattern and all that type of stuff. The more and more I think about it, I think I think maybe more addictive or alluring, or whatever the term is you want to use, more so than going after bad boys and bad girls, I think it might be getting stuck on narcissists. You know, I thought that my ex was, you know, I told her at the beginning, I said, you know, I'm not your type. I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy, and you go after the bad boys. And she kind of laughed and she said, well, it hasn't worked for me in the past, so maybe I need to try something new. Okay. So, but where I'm going with this is I'm wondering if these people get stuck on narcissistic relationships. So normally I guess I wouldn't be bringing this up, I wouldn't even really be thinking about it, but I kind of analyzed, you know, we're talking about my best friend. I've known her for 20 years. I kind of know her whole backstory, all of her, you know, most of her relationships, long-term relationships and stuff like that. And she has this one major pattern, and it's, you know, probably 6 months ago I thought it was going after bad boys or assholes. I guess I never really analyzed or realized what makes them a bad boy, so to speak, or an asshole. And in her situation, I think it's them being narcissists. Okay, so where does all this tie into effect? So my question is, was she originally or like all along a narcissist, or is this kind of learned pattern behavior? So okay, now she's with a good person, any good, not even me, just any good person. Is she used to being treated a certain way, and when that's changed or no longer a certain way, what's that impact? So I know you guys are, if anyone's watching this, you guys are probably thinking I'm retarded because I'm talking so slow, but I'm trying to put it into words, my thoughts. So let's say you're used to being treated like shit. You're used to, you know, always being on your toes, always having to walk on eggshells, always having, you know, to let's say always being talked down to, always being made to feel like you're worthless, always made to feel guilty about wanting to do something for yourself versus, you know, having to do everything for the other person. All these things. Imagine that's what you're used to. Now, you go into a new relationship after being used to that for, you know, 1, 3, 5, 10 years, 20 years. You know, a lot of people are married to narcissists and stuff for many, many years. So, you know, they finally get out of that, and then they go to, you know, everybody always says, oh, I want a good guy, I want a good girl, this and that. And then they get them, and they fuck it up. You know, myself included. Why is that? That's what I'm trying to analyze this week. I'm trying to understand and wrap my head around that this week. It's not necessarily that we don't know it's a good opportunity and we just kind of let it slip through. This is a working thought, but it's more so, or it could be, that there's no other way to put it, but that it's boring. When you're used to being with somebody that's high drama, high attention, they cause tons of anxiety, they're always keeping you guessing. They always keep you doing more and more and more for them. All these things. And then you move into a new relationship where you don't have really any of that fucking bullshit. You know, the bad previous relationship, they might be cheating on you periodically or continuously. They might be, you know, you might go out and they're giving everyone else, you know, attention. I just learned a new term from one of my friends that was dating a narcissist guy, and she or he called himself a kissing whore. So when he goes out in public or goes out to bars and starts drinking and stuff, just starts kissing everybody. I was just like, holy shit, that reminds me exactly of somebody else. So these good people, you know, or these people in general, they're with these narcissists or these bad people, and they're witnessing this. They're dealing with this. And there's a lot of fucking emotional shit that is caused by this type of behavior. And all of that is like a challenge. It's not simple. It's not easy. It's not guaranteed. It's not safe. And the good person becomes almost like addicted to that chase, to that high, to that everything. So they finally get away from this narcissist person, and, you know, it might take them a long time to heal, recover, whatever, but then they just either grab on or latch on to another narcissist, or they kind of get stuck and go back and stay with the first person. So I'm trying to analyze and discover, like, how do you break that mental fucking thing? Is it a time-based thing? Is it a connection thing? Like, is it like an experience thing? There's a few different ideas that I have, and I'm not quite sure what the answers are. I don't know. I mean, at one point in my life, I thought, well, if you just remap all those memories or all those experiences with the new person, you kind of overwrite the data, and that new person's gone, and the old person's gone. The new person is in those memory banks. And then I was like, well, maybe it's a connection thing. You know, there's multiple ways to connect to a person, to a spouse, to a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Is it that? So you basically connect or bond or pair with a new person in maybe a better or different or more deep way than the old person. Maybe that's one way to get over and past a narcissist. Or is it just straight up experience and time? So you got to give it time. And, you know, I can't imagine what these thoughts and ideas sound like outside of my head, because, you know, I was talking to my buddy Luke today about some of this stuff, and he just was like, I don't know. But then he would give me some feedback that kind of tied exactly into what I was saying, So he knew what I was talking about. So I'm going to kind of explore this some more, talk about it some more, and kind of figure out what all this means to me. Because I feel like I've been exhibiting some narcissistic behavior, and that I can't shut it off or something. I don't know. Okay, so I'm liking this new quick record feature. As soon as I turn the camera on, it just starts recording. What I need to test is if I turn it off, does it just save the clip and whatever. But, so these are my thoughts this week, guys. And I know it sounds probably really stupid, really dumb, but this is like kind of core building, soul searching type of stuff for somebody like me. You know, I feel like I've just had so many revelations in this last like month or so that, you know, I don't know if I like what I'm revealing. Let's just say that. But I'm trying to understand it, trying to wrap my head around it, and trying to figure out, you know, what I want. Not only what I want, but like what's important to me. Because like, I don't know. I can't figure out the full puzzle yet. I feel like I've been unable to connect to anybody on enough levels that I'm happy. So, you know, I might connect with somebody physically, and then, but not mentally or spiritually or emotionally, and vice versa. And I guess I need to figure out, maybe make a list of all the different types of connections that you can have with people and work on that shit. And try to cultivate that stuff and try to create meaningful, lasting bonds. So that way when I find the person that I want, I don't want to say that I can keep them, but I can bond with them like none other. And I don't know. I just feel like when I talk about this, I feel like this is all narcissistic behavior. Like I want to like get so deep in with somebody that I can control them and this and that. Like I don't. That's what scares me. I'm not sure. I don't know what all this means quite yet. I'm gonna have to figure it out.